Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Kay Thompson. I am a principal broker here at Best Real Estate Company, and this is today's Friday Focus. I promise you, this is hopefully going to be something that's impactful for you. This lesson today, and or this what we're focusing on, and I hope that it helps you to gain some insight into things that you might be able to do differently in your business in terms of how you communicate and deal with others. So it's not going to be a long podcast. I do believe that I should tell you guys that one of our favorite colleagues and fellow real estate broker, Shanita Johnson, has some other projects that she's working on. And so she is going to do her very best to be on as many of the future episodes as possible. But for the last couple of weeks, she's had some things that she's had to deal with in terms of business for herself. And so that is preventing her from being present. Last week, I actually did record an episode last week. It was actually just like some things that I learned it was about some things that I learned from our designated realtor meeting. So for those of you who don't know, the National Association of Realtors considers principal brokers to be what they call designated realtors. And so we had a designated realtors meeting last week that lasted over at the Memphis Area Association of Realtors, probably about 3 or 4 hours, somewhere in there. And I will be honest and let you know that it was very surprising to me to learn that a lot of the people who have that designation don't our perspectives and understanding about how things should work is very different, and was very much evident in that room that I was in with them. Even though we're reading the same forms and having access to the same information in terms of that, the way people interpreted things was varied greatly. I mean, it varied greatly. And so I actually talked to Shanita yesterday about, what we could focus on. And I came up with so many different things. And I had picked a subject, which I promised to do at a later date because it's a subject that's timeless and I think will be relevant in a few weeks or maybe even a few months. But I decided, because I want to really try to focus as much of this podcast as possible on issues and challenges and even triumphs and successes that our agents have in real time, because I think that makes for better learning. I think that it's more relatable, and hopefully I'm meeting people where they are. And so, this last few weeks, I'm going to take a little bit of my drink here. The last couple of weeks, well, really, the last 2 weeks, since we've had the rollout for the new NAR changes, I've had some very interesting conversations with agents, mostly here in our firm, because I wanted to make sure that people understood the information. I also wanted to hear any concerns that people may have had about the changes that are coming out so that I can work to address those concerns, whether that be, saying to the person, hey, this is something we can do something about, or no, we absolutely can't do anything about this. You just have to accept it. And I was very surprised at a lot of the responses I got from agents, um, just who were just upset because they had to have a phone conversation with another agent about what their commission was going to be. Um, and really, that was the biggest thing, is that agents were really upset about that. And, there were things that were brought up in the designated realtors meeting too that were kind of interesting, where agents were like, well, what if Joe Blow doesn't like this agent um, that's trying to show this property for him? And, Joe Blow decides that, even though they were giving, um, a 3% commission to a buyer's agent, because this person is the buyer's agent, we're only going to offer 2%. Now, I'm not naive in thinking that there aren't people out there that are doing that. I'm just saying, as your broker, we don't want to hear that you're going to do that. And no one here said that. I heard it, though. Like I said at the designated realtors meeting, that people had experienced that, and that people knew of people. And I'm meaning, if you're the designated realtor, you definitely should be working to curb that. We did have an agent, two actually, that came in. They were best agents that said to me, hey, I'm not showing a property if I'm not going to earn a commission. I knew I was going to hear that. So I had really good, robust information about why that absolutely is something that they were going to do. I explained to them how it was illegal for them to deny someone the right to view a home because they were not going to make what they wanted from the deal. And I also gave them some alternatives. One of the things that I learned real early as a real estate agent is, if you don't do it, someone else will. If you won't do it, someone else will. And so the people who really mentored me and helped me to become an agent that had an in-depth understanding of how things worked. I think that was the most valuable lesson that I could have been taught. I would hear agents say all the time, well, they said they're not pre-approved. I'm not showing them a property. And I just thought, because I was trained, well, what's the harm in showing one house one time? And that made all the difference in the world in my business. Um, a lot of you may not know this about me, but I am the designated realtor broker. So I am the realtor broker for the state of Tennessee. But I spent quite a long time being a non-affiliate agent, not the non-affiliate broker, but a non-affiliate agent. And I was able to operate in that capacity, make good money in that capacity, and not have all of the ties to the National Association of Realtors that everyone else had. I was just as ethical in that role as I was, being an NA agent as I was and am being a realtor. I actually prefer to go by the term realtist, which is another organization, NARAB. So when you hear me introduce myself in public to people, I'm introducing myself as a realtist. If you come in my office, you'll see NARAB and realtist things all over. I'm not knocking the National Association of Realtors for someone else. I'm just saying the mission for NARAB is one that hits closer to my heart and closer to my experience as a person living in American society. And so that's why I really support them. Um, I want to say too that I think it's very important for us at this point in our industry and in our personal businesses to really assess how we deal with other people, because really that is what this is all coming down to. The changes that we're having to make are causing us to have to be more communicative. I actually personally kind of appreciate that because we have gotten so used to hiding behind electronics, um, so used to just looking at our MLS and just knowing, the fee is what it is. And that really kind of hindered building, in certain instances, the connections that we need to build in this industry to be able to really, truly have a positive impact on people that we're trying to help buy and sell real estate. One of the things, and there's many, many reasons why I am an advocate and um, person who believes in, the power that exists at the Memphis Investment Group. It's because those people um, actually get together and while they are there to make deals and things of that nature, real estate transactions and deals, they're also there for teaching, to learn, to grow together, and to build relationships. And I know that, we can easily be swayed, with the idea that, um, real estate is becoming automated. I hear all these people talking about AI, and how AI is going to revolutionize the real estate industry. In a lot of ways, it has provided some enhancements for people. But you have seen, those of you who have been around me in these different capacities for learning and things of that nature, you've seen me push back on the idea of AI. You have seen me push back on some other things because I know for a fact that a certain thing is true. And I know that it's true because of, not just because of my own experience, but because I have relationships with other agents within our firm whose methods for communicating and how they deal with people has helped them to build a business with a pipeline that's so deep and wide, like you couldn't even imagine it. I could very well name drop a few people, but a lot of you probably have some good indicators of who I'm speaking of. And so, with that being said, I thought we could spend a little time these next few episodes going through some books that I've read that speak about how to deal with people and how to deal with your own mindset, and doing that in a way to tie it into your real estate business and how um, these things that we're going to talk about can have an effect. One of the books that I have, and all of these I've read before, I know a couple of years ago, I myself, along with Angela Majors, who is an agent here in the office, we had started a book club. We got through, I think, 2 books in the book club, and then we wound up having to move our office, and it was kind of a transition period for Angela and for myself and for some of the other people that joined the book club group meetings. We had several agents show up at different times, and I think that at the time that was needed, and I think it's needed now. I feel like we need to, as a collective, some of us need to take what we know about how to deal with people, and we need to help translate those positive attributes into our culture so that every agent has an idea of how to effectively deal with people and create confidence for themselves and to create more and more win-win situations as it relates to real estate. And so the first book that I'm going to we're going to read from is this book right here. It's called How to Have Confidence and Power in Dealing with People. I actually got this book some time ago from the late great Larry Mayall. And I always was saying, I'm an introvert, I'm an introvert, I'm introverted. And that's true. At my resting place, I'm very introverted. Um, I come out of my shell around people that I really like and trust. Um, but when I'm outside of the real estate world, when I'm just at home, not working, I usually say less than 2 words an hour or two. You know, there are days, especially over the weekend, where if I'm not doing anything, I'm probably haven't said anything since Friday, and then I come back to work on Monday, and I'm all refreshed and able to deal with you guys and talk to you. But when I'm at home, usually I'm there a lot of times by myself, with the exception of my uncle who lives with me. He's has some health challenges. Um, and so, yeah, I don't have kids or anything like that where I have to really do a lot of talking to them. I do have a daughter. I talk to her, obviously, but she is almost 27, and as actually she'll be 27 in a week. And so, a week from Sunday. And so, we do have conversations, but she has a life. She runs a business herself. And so, a lot of times I'm by myself and not really speaking a lot. Gives me a lot of time to read, and also gives me a lot of time to learn. And so, this book is actually a pretty old book. I think it was written in the 50s. It's by Les Giblin, but it has some very good points in it that are tried and true things. And so that is what we're going to focus on. I just wanted to put this little message together to let you guys know that if you want to purchase this book to read along with me, I strongly urge you to do so. You can get it from Amazon. You can definitely rent it from the library for free. I do believe that you could purchase copies of it from Abe Books, ABE, like Abe Lincoln, .com and other places. And I just wanted to take a few moments to read just from the foreword that's in the book, um, something that I think everybody needs to be reminded of. And basically, the section that I want to read from is the 3 basic methods of dealing with people. And there's some other things over here before that I think are relevant. But these things I thought you could take with you and marinate on them. So the 3 basic methods of dealing with people. No human being is self-sufficient. Each of us needs things that other people have to offer. You have things that other people need. All our dealings with other people are based upon these needs. There are only 3 basic ways in which we deal with other people. You can take what you need from the other fellow by force, threats, intimidation, or by outsmarting them. Although criminals naturally fall in this category, many respectable people employ this method in more subtle ways. Have any of you ever had a real estate agent that you were working with that kind of made you feel like they could have been a bully? This is the person that this is talking about. You can become a human relations beggar and beg other people to give you the things you want. This submissive type of personality makes a deal with other people. I won't assert myself in any way or cause you any trouble if you in return be nice to me. So kind of like a quid pro quo situation. And we've all, I'm sure, experienced that in one form or another. And then number 3 is you can operate upon a basis of fair exchange or give and take. You make it your business to give other people the things they want and need, and invariably they will return around and give you the things you need. And so those things, I think, even though this book was written in the 50s, these things are still absolutely true today. We do have people that use threats, force, intimidation in the real estate industry to a degree to win certain situations and scenarios for their clients. You can also become someone who, like I said, finds themselves in quid pro quo situations where it's, if you do this, I'll do that. Um, and then finally, operating on the basis of fair exchange is really what everybody wants at their core. Anyway, everybody wants to be able to make deals that are what they consider fair. So having a fair exchange, whether that be a fair exchange of monetary assets for a product, whether that be, human capital, you know, paying a fair wage to someone in exchange for them doing, great work in your business or establishment. It can mean any number of things. Now, what I would like to do is I'm going to take this book and a couple others. So there is The Qualities of a Leader, which is by John Maxwell, and Battlefield of the Mind, which this is such an awesome book. As you can see, my book is kind of mangled.
This is a reminder.
Alexa, off. I'm sorry, Alexa comes on every day at 4 o'clock for me. So I normally try to record this before that, but I was just a little late today. But A Battlefield of the Mind is a great book to examine your own thought processes about how you see things and how those things make you move in your daily life, whether it's with your family, your business, or whatever. And so these are the 3 books that we're going to focus on. And I am going to come with some sort of lesson for the next few weeks. We're not going to read probably all of these books verbatim, word for word, because then that would get boring. But I am going to do some refresher reading myself, and I'm going to come up with things to help you guys to think about where you are in your businesses. And the main goal for this is to help people, for you to be able to have clarity about what you're really thinking in terms of your business, where do you want to go and where you have challenges. We definitely want to create a better atmosphere for negotiation, because that helps us with our colleagues as well as with our clients. And I'm looking for the next leader always. And so I want to share some things from this book, and I have tons of other books that that I could pick up. But I thought these 3 books were books that were simple enough and interesting enough for people, if they wanted to read and follow along with me, that they could. And finally, I urge everyone to have a point in your career or a point in your business where you are looking at reflections. Maybe you got a listing or had a listing appointment that didn't go the way you expected, or a buyer's appointment, that didn't go the way that you expected. Instead of being upset about it, try to figure out, why didn't it go the way that I expected? Why could it not have been different? Not necessarily better, but just how could it have been different? And so those are the things that we're going to hopefully try to be able to teach you in the next few weeks, how to get to the meat of, and hopefully that'll make us better agents. And also I'm hoping to build people's confidence, and this is the main thing. I'm hoping to build people's confidence in negotiations for commissions, because I see a lot of people that are just giving up. Like, they just feel like the real estate industry is going to go to, HE double hockey sticks in a handbasket, because they have to ask for their commissions. And I'm here to tell you, there are plenty of agents out here who have no problem asking for commission. Most of them are listing agents. They have to ask for commission, not only for themselves, but for the buyer agent. So imagine the pressure there that could be there. Also, I am just a firm believer that if you can't ask for it, you must not be worth it. I can ask for everything that I'm worth. And so we're going to figure out for people what that looks like for them, and how to help get them to the point where they're comfortable to have not just conversation, but negotiation about this and other things. So, with that being said, I'd like to thank you guys so much for joining me. I do want to make a little one last announcement about the NAR changes and everything. Tennille and I are going to order some Will Co-op riders for your for sale signs. We can't put things like a filled out compensation agreement, those kinds of things in the MLS. We can't even make any mention of any type of payment or compensation, but you can say that you're going to co-op in the way of a rider for your for sale sign that's in a yard. You can put that on your own personal websites and things of that nature. We just can't use those types of words and comments in our multiple listing service. And I also want to point out again that if you are having questions or you do not understand something about the changes, please reach out to the broker who is responsible for your education and your license in that particular state so that they can give you the most accurate information. There is a group on Facebook called Real Estate Mastermind, and there's a bunch of other ones where people, contributors, post things that may be jokes, things that are obviously meant to be a dig or not truthful, and we have but we have people who look at those things and count them as real. Somebody posted a message and asked, hey, is NAR going away? Are we not going to have real estate agents? There's no literature anywhere that said anything like that. And so again, I'm going to remind you guys who these people are. I am your principal realtor broker for the state of Tennessee. I also manage the Tennessee non-affiliated agents as well. So NA. So Tennessee, that's my domain. I am also the principal broker for the Missouri real estate as well. And I am the non-affiliated broker, so the NA broker for our Mississippi agents. We have a Mississippi realtor broker who can help you with forms and things of that nature in the state of Mississippi. His name is Mr. Malcolm Settles. And he is also a licensed broker here in the state of Tennessee. So in the event that I'm absent, he is usually my go-to person for helping agents when I'm unable to. And for those of you who are not exactly sure, of Malcolm's capability, I want to tell you a couple of things. Number one, he was a broker here before I was. And he was also at one point our Tennessee broker. So he's very intelligent and knows the rules and how to play the game. You guys just have to be able to follow his lead. And then we have the Arkansas broker, realtor broker, and her name is Lydia Nance. Malcolm is usually not in the offices on the day-to-day, but you can give him a call, and he's very accessible, very flexible. He will meet you wherever you need him to in order to help you get any issue resolved that may come up as a result of these changes. Lydia Nance is also doing a very great job. She's been very diligent in making sure that she has the right answers for us in the state of Arkansas. I also want to point out that Lydia does have backups. So she has me as an executive broker in Arkansas, and she has Ida Long, who is also an executive broker in the state of Arkansas. So in the absence of Lydia, you can reach out to Ida or myself, and for that state, and we'll be happy to assist in any way that we can. And then, sorry. And then in terms of forms and everything, all of the forms that we normally had in Dotloop, we are in the process of having those be edited. They've already been uploaded to Dotloop. We're just waiting on them to finish the edits. And so, like I said, don't listen to things on the internet that say, hey, this is this or this is that, and then just go with that in terms of our industry news. You definitely want to reach out to the appropriate broker so that we can be sure that you're getting the right information regarding whatever subject matter you're thinking about. And so, with that, again, I'd like to wish you guys a very, very happy Labor Day. Our offices will be closed on Labor Day. So we will see you back here, same bad time, same bad channel on Tuesday. And that's going to be September 2nd. Until next time, take care of each other, stay safe, and sell something.